friends, and welcome to another episode of Daily English Practice with Perfect English Podcast. My name is Melissa, and I am so happy that you are here with me today. In this podcast, we practice speaking and listening together using simple English, clear examples, and real-life situations. My goal is to help you feel more confident every time you use English and to remind you that small steps, practiced every day, can make a very big difference in your learning journey. So let's begin today's lesson with warmth, energy, and focus, because you are here to improve and I am here to guide you. In today's episode, we are going to practice how to talk about daily activities in English. Now, you may wonder, why is this important? The reason is simple. When you meet new people, they often ask about your daily life. They might say, "What do you do every day?" or "What is your routine?" These are very common questions, and if you know how to answer them, you can start a friendly conversation, connect with others, and show that you are comfortable speaking. Talking about daily activities is also one of the best ways to practice using the present tense in English, which is the tense we use to describe habits and routines. So, by practicing this topic, you will not only learn useful phrases, but also build stronger grammar and speaking skills. Think about it for a moment. Every person has a daily routine. You wake up, you eat, you work or study, you spend time with family, and you go to sleep. These are simple actions, but when you put them into English sentences, they become powerful tools for communication. For example, saying, "I wake up at 7 o'clock" or "I eat breakfast with my family" may sound very basic, but these are exactly the kinds of sentences that build your foundation in English. The more you practice them, the more natural they will feel when you speak. So, in this episode, I want you not just to listen, but also to repeat after me, to speak out loud, and to imagine your own day as you practice. Think about your real life and describe it in English. This way, the words you are learning are not just words on a page or sounds in your ear. They are connected to your own experience, your own daily activities. This is how you start to think in English, and this is how English begins to feel natural for you. By the end of this episode, you will be able to describe your own daily routine step by step. You will learn to use simple and clear sentences, and you will feel more ready to share about yourself when you meet new people. Remember, speaking English is not about perfection. It is about practice, confidence, and communication. So let's get started together, and let's make today's practice about something real, simple, and useful, talking about your daily activities. 2. Now that we are ready to begin, let's warm up together with a few very useful time phrases. These phrases will help you when you want to describe when something happens during your day. You see, when we talk about daily activities, we don't only say what we do, we also often say when we do it. If someone asks you, "When do you eat breakfast?" or "When do you go to bed?" you can answer by using these short and simple time expressions. They are easy to learn, but they are very powerful in helping you describe your routine clearly. The first phrase is, "in the morning." The morning is the time after you wake up and before noon, usually from about 6 or 7 o'clock until 12 o'clock. This is the time when most people get ready for the day, eat breakfast, and go to work or school. For example, you might say, "I brush my teeth in the morning," or "I drink coffee in the morning." Listen carefully, "in the morning." Now, I want you to repeat after me, "in the morning." Good. Let's try again together. In the morning. Excellent. The second phrase is in the afternoon. The afternoon is the time after 12 o'clock, after lunch, and before the evening. Usually, it is from about 12 until around 5 or 6 o'clock. This is when many people are still working or studying. You might say, I eat lunch in the afternoon, or I study English in the afternoon. Notice how we add activities to this phrase. So let's say it together, in the afternoon. Very nice. Once more, in the afternoon. Great job. The third phrase is in the evening. The evening is the time after the afternoon, usually from around 6 o'clock until about 9 o'clock. This is a time when many people come home, eat dinner, relax, and spend time with their families. For example, you can say, I watch TV in the evening, or I cook dinner in the evening. Do you hear the pattern? We always start with I plus the verb, then we add the time phrase. Now repeat after me, in the evening. Good. Again, in the evening. Perfect. And finally, we have at night. Night is the time when it is dark outside, usually after 9 o'clock until the time you go to bed, and sometimes even through the time when you are sleeping. For example, you can say, I read a book at night, or I go to sleep at night. This phrase is a little different. Notice that we say at night and not in the night. So repeat after me, at night. Good. Again, at night. Wonderful. Now let's practice all 4 phrases together. Ready? Repeat after me. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night. Great. Let's do it one more time to make it strong in your memory. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night. Excellent! These 4 simple time expressions will help you describe your day clearly. When you put them together with your daily actions, you can make complete sentences. For example, I wake up in the morning. I eat lunch in the afternoon. I relax in the evening. I sleep at night. See how natural that sounds. You can do the same thing with your own activities. Think about what you do during each part of the day, and then try to say it out loud using these phrases. This is the warm-up for today, and it will prepare us for the main practice. 3 now, my friends. Let's move into the main part of our practice. This is where we will go through a full daily routine together, step by step, from the morning all the way to the night. I want you to listen carefully, repeat after me, and also imagine your own day while we practice. Remember, the goal is not only to learn the sentences I say, but also to be able to use them to describe your own life. When you connect English with your real actions, it becomes easier to remember and to use naturally. Let's start with the morning activities. Morning is the beginning of the day, so we usually describe what we do right after we wake up. The first sentence is, I wake up at 7 o'clock. Say it slowly with me. I wake up at 7 o'clock. Good. Let's say it again. I wake up at 7 o'clock. Excellent. Now think about your own time. Do you wake up at 7? Or maybe earlier, maybe later? If you wake up at 6, you can say, I wake up at 6 o'clock. If you wake up at 9, you can say, I wake up at 9 o'clock. The structure is the same, you just changed the number. Simple, right? After waking up, the next common activity is brushing your teeth. Listen, I brush my teeth. Repeat after me, I brush my teeth. Very good. Again, I brush my teeth. Notice that we don't say I brush the teeth. We say my teeth because they are mine. Easy to remember. Next, many people take a shower in the morning, so we say, I take a shower. Try it with me. I take a shower. Great. Once more, I take a shower. Some people prefer to shower at night, but if you do it in the morning, this sentence will be useful for you. And of course, one of the most important parts of the morning is eating breakfast. Listen, I eat breakfast. Say it with me. I eat breakfast. Wonderful. Again, I eat breakfast. You can even add more details later, like I eat breakfast in the morning or I eat eggs for breakfast. But for now, let's keep it simple. Now let's move on to the afternoon activities. The afternoon is usually the time when people are working or studying. A very useful sentence is, I go to work. Repeat after me. I go to work. Good. Now, if you are a student, you can say, I go to school. Try it. I go to school. Excellent. This sentence can change depending on your life, but the pattern is easy. I go to plus place. Around 12 o'clock, many people eat lunch. So listen, I eat lunch at 12 o'clock. Say it with me, I eat lunch at 12 o'clock. Perfect. One more time, I eat lunch at 12 o'clock. Of course, you can change the time depending on when you usually eat. If you eat lunch at 1, you can say, I eat lunch at 1 o'clock. The important thing is to practice both the action and the time together. In the afternoon, some people work on their computers and some people study. You can say, I study in the afternoon, or I work on my computer in the afternoon. Let's repeat, I study in the afternoon. Good. Again, I study in the afternoon. Now repeat this. I work on my computer in the afternoon. Great job. Now let's go to the evening activities. Evening is the time when the day slows down, usually after 5 or 6 o'clock. A very common sentence is, I come home at 6 o'clock. Repeat with me, I come home at 6 o'clock. Excellent. One more time, I come home at 6 o'clock. You can change the number to your own time, maybe 7 or 8. After coming home, many families eat dinner together. So let's say, I eat dinner with my family. Repeat, I eat dinner with my family. Wonderful. Again, I eat dinner with my family. You can also change with my family to with my friends, or just say I eat dinner at home. Then, in the evening, people usually relax. You might say, I watch TV in the evening. Let's practice. I watch TV in the evening. Good. One more time. I watch TV in the evening. If you don't watch TV, you can say, I read a book in the evening. Let's try that. I read a book in the evening. Excellent. Finally, let's talk about the night activities. Before sleeping, many people brush their teeth again. So you can say, I brush my teeth at night. Repeat after me. I brush my teeth at night. Great job. After that, you can say, I go to bed at 10 o'clock. Repeat, I go to bed at 10 o'clock. Very good. Once more, I go to bed at 10 o'clock. And then, the last step, I sleep. Repeat, I sleep. Perfect. So now, my friends, we have walked through a simple daily routine together. From morning until night, you can describe your day in English. The key is to listen, repeat, and then personalize these sentences to match your own life. For example, you can say, I wake up at 6 o'clock. I brush my teeth. I go to school in the afternoon. I eat dinner with my family in the evening, and I go to bed at 10 o'clock. Try to make your own version of this routine. The more you practice, the more natural it will become. Now, my friends, it's time for you to do the talking. Up to this point, you have been repeating sentences with me, which is very useful. But real speaking practice begins when you try to answer questions on your own. This part of the episode is designed to help you think in English, not just listen. I will ask you simple questions about your daily activities, and after each question, I will pause. During the pause, I want you to say your answer out loud, using the English you already know. Don't worry if it's not perfect. The important thing is to speak, to try, and to connect English with your own life. Let's begin with the morning. Here's the first question. What time do you wake up? Pause. Great. Maybe you said, I wake up at 7 o'clock, or I wake up at 6:30. That's wonderful. You can change the time depending on your real life. The sentence pattern stays the same. Now let me ask you, what do you do after you wake up? Pause. Very good. Perhaps you said, I brush my teeth, or I take a shower, or I eat breakfast. All of these are correct answers because everyone's morning routine is different. Here's another one. What do you eat for breakfast? Pause. Excellent. Maybe you said, I eat bread for breakfast, or I eat rice, or I drink coffee. Even if your breakfast is simple, just saying one clear sentence is very good practice. Now let's move to the afternoon. Listen carefully. Do you go to work or do you go to school in the afternoon? Pause. Nice. You may have answered, I go to school, or I go to work, or I stay at home. Each answer is true for different people, and that's the beauty of this practice. You are learning how to describe your own life. Another question, what time do you eat lunch? Pause. Great job. Maybe you said, I eat lunch at 12 o'clock, or I eat lunch at 1 o'clock. Simple, clear, and correct. Now let's practice the evening. Here is my question. What do you do when you come home in the evening? Pause. Perfect. Perhaps you said, I eat dinner, or I relax, or I read a book. Excellent work. Now tell me, who do you eat dinner with? Pause. Good answer. You may have said, I eat dinner with my family, or I eat dinner with my friends, or I eat dinner alone. All of those are fine. Finally, let's talk about night. I will ask, what time do you go to bed? Pause. Wonderful. Maybe you said, I go to bed at 10 o'clock, or I go to bed at midnight. Both are correct. And here's one last question. What do you do before you sleep? Pause. Excellent. Maybe you said, I brush my teeth, or I check my phone, or I read. Great practice. See, my friends? By answering these questions, you are not just repeating after me, you are creating your own sentences, and that is how real learning happens. Every time you speak, even if the sentence is short, your brain becomes stronger in English. Remember, practice does not need to be perfect, it only needs to be consistent. All right, my friends, let's take a moment now to review and recap what we practiced in today's episode. Reviewing is very important because when you repeat what you have learned, the knowledge becomes stronger in your memory. If you only listen once, you might forget quickly, but if you go back, summarize, and repeat, then the words and sentences stay in your mind longer and become easier to use when you speak. So let's go step by step through everything we covered today. We began by learning some very simple but powerful time phrases. Do you remember them? In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night. These 4 short expressions are the keys to organizing your daily activities in English. Without them, your sentences can sound incomplete. But when you add them, suddenly your routine becomes very clear. For example, I eat breakfast in the morning. I study in the afternoon. I relax in the evening. I go to bed at night. So easy, and yet so useful. Then we practiced building a full daily routine. We started with the morning. I wake up at 7 o'clock. I brush my teeth. I take a shower. I eat breakfast. After that, we move to the afternoon. I go to work or I go to school. I eat lunch at 12, I study or I work on my computer. Then we talked about the evening. I come home at 6, I eat dinner with my family, I watch TV or I read a book. Finally, we ended with the night routine. I brush my teeth again, I go to bed at 10, I sleep, step by step, from the moment you wake up until the time you go to sleep. You now have a full set of English sentences to describe your day. After that, we practiced speaking together. I asked you questions like, what time do you wake up? What do you eat for breakfast? What do you do at night? These questions helped you think in English and not just repeat after me. By answering out loud, you started to create your own sentences. And that, my friends, is the most important step. When you move from listening and repeating to speaking your own answers, you are training your brain to really use English, not just copy it. So here's my encouragement for you. Don't let this be the last time you practice these sentences. Try to repeat them again later today. Even better, write your own routine in English. Take a piece of paper and write, I wake up at, I brush my teeth, I eat breakfast, I go to school, and continue all the way until you go to bed. When you write it down and then read it out loud, you are practicing 3 skills at the same time: writing, reading, and speaking. This will help you remember even more. And always remember, practice does not need to be long or complicated. Even 5 or 10 minutes every day is enough. The more often you practice, the more natural English will feel. Soon you will notice that when someone asks you about your daily activities, you won't have to think so hard. The sentences will just come out naturally because you already practiced them many times. And now, my dear friends, we have reached the end of today's practice. Before we finish, I want to take a moment to thank you for spending your time here with me. Learning a language is not always easy, and I know you have many other things to do in your life. But the fact that you pressed play, that you listened, and that you spoke out loud with me today shows your dedication. You are taking real steps toward improving your English, and every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. So thank you for being here, and thank you for practicing with me. I also want to remind you that you did a great job today. Maybe some sentences were easy for you, maybe some were difficult, but the important thing is that you tried. You repeated, you answered questions, and you pushed yourself to think in English. That is exactly how progress is made, through practice, not perfection. So even if you made mistakes, remember, mistakes are a natural part of learning. Each mistake is a lesson, and each lesson makes you stronger. As we close this episode, I encourage you to keep going. Don't stop here. Listen again if you need more practice, or try to write down your own routine and read it out loud. Even better, share what you learned today with a friend, a classmate, or a family member. Teaching or explaining in English to someone else is another powerful way to improve. And most of all, come back for the next episode. Each time you join me here, you will grow more confident, more comfortable, and more natural in your English. So let's end today on a positive note. Be proud of yourself because you are doing something important for your future. You are not just learning words, you are building the skill to communicate, to connect, and to express yourself in another language. That is a wonderful achievement. Thank you, my friends, for practicing English with me today. Keep practicing every day, and soon you will feel the difference. I look forward to being with you again in the next episode. Until then, Take care, stay motivated, and goodbye for now.